Hey everybody, it's Deanna with Tools of Energy Protection.com. Your energy shift expert. Can't get my words straight. Welcome everybody. It is November 17th, 2020. I'm super excited that you're joining me tonight. And I have a lot to cover. There's a lot of Terry to cover right now. As you've noticed, I've returned to doing the energy shift updates. I used to do those here all the time. And then I shifted over to kind of a different platform. But here we are back with energy shift updates because it's such an important time right now where we are in time and space and what's happening and why are these things happening and, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of fear going on. There's a lot of questions and people are really all over the place at this time. And I've gotten a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks about, you know, what's happening and why am I feeling this way? So tonight, I'm going to cover a lot of those things. We're going to just talk about what's happening, what's real, what's in the here and now, you know, and what's hitting the fan for all of us individually, holistically, you know, where's the world going? You know, where are we headed? So we are at a huge transitional point in our lives right now. The entire world is in a huge transitional point. I got to look up one scripture here for you. About the end of days. And a woman being pregnant. Sorry. I got all the rest of my stuff ready. Okay. So there's a couple things my guides have been talking to me about. And there's a couple of things that I've noticed. So I want to make some parallels between things that I see in the canonized version of the Bible and things that I'm seeing now. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, please don't say it's blasphemy, okay? We all read the scriptures and determine them differently according to our orientations. And some of us don't even read the Bible. But this is what I'm seeing right now. My guides were talking to me today about the book of Revelation and towards the end times. And just, you know, point blank, this is not the end of the world. You know, we're not going to blow up tomorrow. So please don't, you know, worry about that. We're having a shift. We're having a separation and an opening at the same time. So I was thinking about in the Bible where it says how dreadful it will be in those days. It's talking about the end time for pregnant women and those that are nursing. Right? And so at first I was thinking, you know, when I read that scripture years ago, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was thinking to myself, well, don't be pregnant, you know, in the times of the end, because, you know, it's not going to be real comfortable. But what I'm finding out is pregnancy and this scripture is not what is indicated in the 3D world. It's like most of the things in the Bible, there's a literal and there's a symbology going on. There's two different things going on at the same time. So somebody asked me where this is. Okay, so this is John 3, I think in Romans 5:1. It says, woe to those who are pregnant and nursing in the last days, and pray that their fight is not in the winter or on the Sabbath. Okay, now that's literal. Winter time would be horrible to be in the times of the end, and so would it be on the Sabbath. According to the Bible, that's the day of rest. But what I want to point at is the pregnancy and the nursing, because there's another place in the Bible where I think Jesus is talking, either that or it's spirit channeling through somebody saying that if you know, that you've been fed, you know, lots of things, lots of understanding, lots of learning. And in the end times, you need to have the meat. You need to be, sorry, there's the word need. The desired outcome is to be at the level that you can eat meat and not have to nurse like a baby on milk, because you haven't grown spiritually. You haven't awoken. You haven't done the hardcore work. You haven't grown yourself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And so in that's why I was thinking about, you know, those who are pregnant or nursing in those days. And this just occurred to me today. So no, I did not go, you know, back to the original Greek and look it all up. But this is what struck me today. If you are still trying to come on board with being a spiritually awake and aware person, and you have spidey senses, you know things appear to you, you get feelings about things and they come true. You maybe hear things that other people don't hear, or you're aware of things other people just simply aren't aware of. Those are spiritual gifts. Those are the things that allow highly sensitive and empathic people to be the white blood cells of this planet. A white blood cell goes out when there's an injury, and it'll either form platelets to seal the body up so no more blood goes out, or it'll kill disease. And God, Spirit, Source, put enough people on this planet that are highly sensitive, that are empaths, so that during these times when people are cracking open, breaking up, that we as a human race would have enough people to help the planet heal energetically, spiritually, and mentally, so we don't blow ourselves up. So we can go forward, so we can make that transformation, so we're not bleeding out, so to speak. And that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be here for a while. But what's going to happen is the pressure and the tension is going to keep ticking up. And that's a good thing and a not so good thing at the same time. So let me finish this where it says Jesus is saying, woe to those who are pregnant and nursing. Well, my question is, are you pregnant with this idea that, hey, someday I'm going to develop my spiritual gifts and I won't be afraid anymore? And you're sitting in that back corner going like this? Or some people are numbing out. Some people are choosing to numb out. And numbing comes in a lot of different forms. There's plugging yourself into a TV and only participating in the fantasy world 24/7. TV's not bad in itself, but, if you're not participating fully in life, there has to be a balance, ladies and gentlemen, a balance between positive things and negative things. A balance between taking time in your life to do things one thing at a time. And I know it's very challenging, especially for those of us that have ADD or ADHD or anxiety or phobias. It's difficult to navigate the world one step at a time because we're used to, right? But this is the time. These are the energies. This is what's being made available to all of us to grow spiritually, to be in a beautiful space, to accelerate. There are so many people that I have talked to and I've seen on Facebook feeds and different groups that are like, right? Because they're petrified. Because their jobs have gone away. Because they have no money. Because they have no place to live. Because they can't provide for their families. And these are very real situations. But on the other hand, equally, I have seen in my personal Facebook feed, people that are posting, I think it's something you can copy and put in your own feed. If you're having trouble, reach out to me. I will help you as much as I can. The first time I saw it, I just thought it was what my friend did, but I saw it in somebody else's feed. There are huge organizations. There are people who have plenty to help you. Don't expect a free handout, though. That's not good juju. But if you're needing assistance in this moment to transition from point A to point B, then reach out. This fire that happened in Colorado, there were so many good people, so many big-hearted people that opened their homes, that delivered meals, that took things to the firehouses to get to the firefighters. There is so much love on this planet, but it is hidden, buried, and covered up by the fear. And it might be that this is a time that God, Spirit, or Source is telling us to turn to our families, if we have healthy families, or to our friends who are like families, and to unite together and become a unit, a group. You know, there was a Great Depression. And during that Great Depression, people had to stick together, and they worked hard. And they said, I'm going to give my kids better than what I received. And then we moved into the 50s, which is when they invented Mommy's Little Helper, because she was going out of her mind, being stuck at home all day trying to be Miss Perfect. That wasn't right either. But out of that was born this sense of perfection and, you know, pearls and heels and, you know, greeting your husband, oh, hi, honey, when he comes home, as opposed to this wide-eyed lady who's got 6 kids hanging on her, maybe 2, and she's going nuts. That's what was being put out in the media, but it wasn't real. It wasn't realistic. And so then the 60s came along. Peace, love, and joy, man. You know, kind of an opposite swing from the tight 50s. And these are overall generalizations. This is not every family. But I'm talking about what the news media put out there. And if you Google it or look back in a history book, what you're going to see. It was the overall picture that everybody was supposed to participate in and buy. I don't know about you, but my family sure didn't buy it. They were busy making a living, raising the kids the best they could, and enjoying life as much as they could. And that's all anybody can do. And that's where we are now. So, you know, in the 40s and 50s, parents in America worked really hard, tried to send their kids to college if they could, told them to work their way up the corporate ladder. Most people worked for a company for life and got pensions or retirement packages. And those people, in turn, raised kids that were having kids in the 60s and 70s. And those parents, from that drive, were wanting their kids to have better than they had. And so they were actually giving their kids more, right? Giving them more, as opposed to having them work diligently. Like I said, this is not everybody, but kind of the overall scene. And what I find interesting is now that generation raised the kids in the 80s. And like I said, not every one of them, but quite a few were given more things, given things more instantly. And then the internet came along, and it's bred this instant gratification. And again, I know this is not every single person, but I'm giving you an overall bird's eye view of the energies that were happening over the last few years. And so there was this big push to give the kids what they wanted because it would make them happy. And they got used to instant gratification. And then here came the internet along. I remember writing an internet web page on my laptop. Gonna date myself. In the late 90s. And that's where we've been. And so now things are a little tougher. We have to be resourceful and come together as a community. That's what we're being asked to do in this time spiritually. And in the meantime, mayhem all over the news. People running amok. At least they were when they were rioting a few months back. And everybody's like this, in America at least, because there's a big to-do about who's going to be the next seated president. Will that get figured out by January? Will it go to the Supreme Court and they'll have to decide? And there's so much unrest. I have never seen unrest like this before. And historically, I looked and I didn't see this kind of unrest. Now, if it's there, you can put it in the comments down below. If you're watching later on YouTube, put it down there or send me an email. But this dynamic that we're under, ladies and gentlemen, my desired outcome is that you understand where we are right now in time and space. Please understand this. So super important. America is over 200 years old. My understanding, most democracies don't last past 200 years. If I'm not mistaken, we're at 240. So there's a big historical energetic push. The way the planets are aligned right now, and a lot of it is similar to when they had bloody Kansas. A lot of unrest, a lot of the country being divided amongst itself. And please remember that a country divided, a house divided, cannot stand. And so I'm calling on everybody who's awake, alert, and aware to realize where we are in space and time and the unique opportunity I'm about to share with you right now. Why there's emotional triggers and why relationships right now are having issues. And I'll give you some solutions. I'm going to ask also that if you know people that are highly empathic, highly sensitive, that are in confusion, that don't know what the heck's going on, please share this video with them. I do the best I can to give you the information that I either get from my guides or I see going on, to give you a little direction, to help your compass to point north instead of where the rest of the world is. Okay? And I don't have the numbers of how many are in the rest of the world, but I do see a lot of people that are just going nuts. Also, if you go out and look in your neighborhood, you're going to see more normalcy. I mean, when I look out in my neighborhood, I would never know COVID was going on. Everybody's pretty peaceful, pretty harmonious, getting along, doing what they need to do in a day. It's like everybody's going to work, waiting for the people up here to figure out who's going to be the next seated president. Okay? That's what I see. Now, love you all. You know that. So, little housekeeping, and then we'll get on to the things I see that could help you or someone you know to work through these really tough times. And I've said these things before, and I'm going to say them again. Sometimes it takes repeat before people finally wake up and hear it and go, oh yeah, you know, including myself, because sometimes my guides will tell me, do this, and I'm like, do this, oh yeah, okay. Anyway, so if you are confused about what's going on, if you're having a hard time sleeping, if you're having a hard time getting to sleep, if you're anxious all the time, if you're constantly aflutter and you're not sure which way to go next or how to put one foot in front of the other, then if you go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on sessions and scroll down and click on it, and it's going to take you to my personal calendar. And once you get there, you can pick a time. Once you pick a time, it will ask you to pay. If you do not pay, it will not tell me you booked, and that time will become available to someone else. Simple, okay? Trying to keep it simple. And what's going on right now on my books and the number of requests I'm having with my time right now, I'm going to be real. It's just challenging for me to return texts and especially emails, those of you that have emailed me, and I love each and every one of you, but what I'm going to ask you is to go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on personal sessions, and scroll down. Okay, you can book it, for heaven's sakes, books on there. I think still there's something called an angel reading. You can book that if you like. And then I've got a coffee chat on there. Okay. So it looks like I need to add one more on there. But once you get over to my personal sessions book, you'll be able to find the calendar and get yourself booked. Okay? Love each and every one of you, but like I said, there's a lot of draw on my time right now between this one up here, what's going on in my personal life, and my own energy shifts. So if you want to get with me and get your energy cleared and feel better, every person I've seen in the last 2 weeks, and I've cleared their energy field, all the emotional stuff that's coming up gets cleared, and they feel more centered, and they're like, oh, thank you. And they can get their head on straight and move forward. That's what I'm offering. If you can't find a time and you're on Facebook, send me a private message. If you're on YouTube and you can't find a time, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, and I'm checking it now here under contact. And on contact, it gives you a link direct to Facebook. It gives you how to get on my emailing system where I'm sending out information. And it says, let's see here, YouTube. I think you can put a note down on YouTube. But I would suggest if you want to get a hold of me via email that you click on get the latest information delivered in your inbox. That's the email. And sign up for the email. And then that way you'll be able to get in touch with me. I've kind of cut some of those things out because for whatever reason, there's these little creepy crawlies on the internet and they find my number and I get all kinds of weird calls. So anyway, now that the commercial's done, let's get on with it. Okay. So, and then I will look at the questions and comments. I see there's a lot of questions and comments happening right now. Lots of stuff to do tonight. Okay, so last week, I'm going to show you now why it is that we are having emotional triggers and relationship issues, okay? This week, I'm talking about relationships as in love relationships, not relationships with money, not relationships with your job, not relationships with your kids. I'm talking about relationships with two adults that are consenting, you know, in a loving relationship. And that could be people that have been married for years, months, weeks, could be lovers, any kind of adult relationship where two people have consented to relate to each other at some point in time. Okay, very clear. Not money, not jobs, not your relationship to God, Spirit, or Source, not your relationship with your children. So last week, I showed you a close-up of the ionic atmosphere energies. Okay, these are called critical frequencies. And I pull these things up on my internet so you can see them. Okay, so a critical frequency changes due to time of day, atmospheric condition. It can change with, like I said again, the time of day. And the critical frequency is the function of electron density. What does that mean? If you're a diver in a body of water and you're up here, the density is okay and the pressure is okay for your skull, your bones, your blood, your skin, flesh. But the deeper you get, there's more pressure because the water is thicker in density and you have to go slower if you want to go down further. And when you come up, you have to go slow and allow for your body to recompress. I think that's the right word. And if you go up too quickly, if you rise up too quickly, you get something called the bends, which has to do with your body couldn't oxygenate quick enough. Okay? So the critical frequency is the electronic density function. And as long as that density matches where you are in your day, you're going to do good. Like when you get up in the morning, and then you have your day, and then you go to bed at night. If it doesn't match, your physical body is going to go through the bins. Not as bad as if you were diving, but you get the picture. It's not going to function. How many of you out there have not been able to think or speak very well in the last couple of weeks? Like you can hear the words in your head, but you can't get them out of your mouth. Or sometimes you're jumbled up in your head and you can't even speak. If I can get a thumbs up for that, I would appreciate it. I had quite a few of those people that came and talked to me last week at the bookstore. Okay, maybe nobody on the broadcast tonight. If you're watching this later live, please put a thumbs up. Okay? I'd like to know how many of you are feeling that way. Oh, there goes one. Oh, there goes a few. Yay! Okay, good. All right. Okay, so I see a comment on that, so I'll take a little bit of time. The frequency changing, this ionosphere, has a direct effect on your body, because your body has electrons in it. It's electromagnetic frequencies. And so when those frequencies are going up and down in different layers, you're going to feel differently in your body. While you guys and gals are giving thumbs up, how many of you have had huge dietary shifts lately? Thumbs up for that. And I've been thinking about doing, I thought about doing a Monday show, which I might do some video and some pictures. Oh, good, there's some thumbs up. Good. For Monday. Thank you. Good, more thumbs up, because I want to call it Make It Monday. And I don't mean, woohoo. But I'm talking about food, because I just found out in my county now that if you go out to eat, which they've reduced the number of people that you can have in a restaurant, trying to stamp out COVID. But if you go to that restaurant, you now have to give the waitress or the person they have coming around your name and your phone number. And in some cases, I've heard your address. This is now a county rule if you want to go out and eat. So there's yet another reason to begin to cook at home. And I've been desiring to learn how to cook more at home for several years and just didn't do it. Too busy, not enough interest in the household. And so now I've started it, and I'm thinking it'd be fun here. You all come and see me for business. It'd be fun here to, oh good, I got a couple of thumbs up. That thumbs up for me cooking, not the rules. But I thought it would be fun to start cooking and then showing you what I'm cooking and asking all of you to share a recipe if you have them quick, easy, holistic. Because I'm talking about, since we have time, the basic, food preparation. Anyway, okay, let's get on with it. So, the critical frequencies. So last week on 9/11 and 11/9 and 11/10, we looked at the ionosphere, and what we saw was there were two particular pressures, if you will, that were entering this bell curve. This is last week. Let's see, there we go. And we were seeing how these particular two ionospheres were going all the way up and then coming down and balancing out and then up again, and they're almost the same. Not as wide though. They were just covering a few hours. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 hours. That they were covering. But during those times, it was a huge, super huge increase. So talk about the bends. These two energies are pushing up, in just a few hours. This is probably about 2 hours. And then back down. Then a little bit uneven, and then all the way up and back down. that will drive you crazy. That is what's creating the emotions. That's what's creating the panic. Because we all have weaknesses, every one of us, whether it's physical weakness or mental weakness or an emotional weakness from wounds or scars we've had in the past. And if you talk to somebody who's a professional fighter, they'll tell you they never hit their opponent's strong part. Never. They go right for that weak point. And that's what these energies are doing. Emotional weak points, spiritual weak points, and they're hitting them hard. And consciously, you're like, what the heck is going on? How come my body is aching all the time? How come my emotions are returning to some place I thought I'd worked through years ago, or weeks ago, or days ago? That's because where we are in space and time, these energies are going to go up and down and up and down to push your pooping poop out of you, your schmegging poop, and make you face your inner truth. Your inner truth. And that's why there's relationship triggers. Because what happens is from the time we're conceived to the time we're about 7, we absorb everything that's going on around us. Yes, even in the womb. Feelings and emotions, we're all like little sponges, woo, and absorbing it, right? And if you get enough negativity, maybe gaslighting, triangulation victim, abuse, raised by an alcoholic, abandoned, emotionally abandoned, all that stuff gets stored right back here in your database. Just like on a cell phone, you may be able to see the app, but if you don't tap it, the app's not active and you can't see what's going on. It's just a little app. And so what's happening right now on this planet is these little apps have been in our brain for a while, not maybe fully functional, and some of us don't know they're there, don't recognize where they came from, but they're in your neuro net, your neuroplasticity. This is not past life stuff or future life stuff. This is here in this life. And when this ionosphere goes up and down, it really controls our moods. If you ever want to feel better, at least in my world, I go up in the mountains where the negative ions are all over the place and they make me feel really good and stimulated. And I come back, I'm like, woohoo, right? Well, that's what it feels like right now with these energies going up and down, and you don't have to go to the mountains. You can stay right wherever you are. And so your stuff that has been in here that is keeping you from drinking, or not drinking the milk, but eating the meat, the spiritual meat that's being offered right now, then you're going to be in the milk zone, sucking your thumb because you haven't done the work. But our creator, the spiritual creator of this world, is merciful in that it's not like, you better hurry up. Okay, you had a year. Okay, bye-bye. That's why I told you all a couple videos ago, this frequency, this movement will be going on for about 5 years from now. So everybody has a chance to get into it, become aware of it or not, and begin to lift their consciousness up to see what's really happening and develop themselves in here, in the heart, in the emotions, and in the mind, in discernment, or being responsible, or having integrity. And please don't go, oh, well, I got 5 years, I can mess around a little bit. No. You want to get started the sooner the better, because the more you're aware and alert and awake and you know how to clear energies or have somebody else clear the energies for you, the more your consciousness will come up. And there may come a day where you can't trust anybody around you about what's going on because there's so much chaos. That if you're centered and you are balanced and you connect in to God's Spirit or Source and Earth Mother, you'll know what's going on. You'll be solid within yourself and you won't have to participate in this fear crap. Truth bomb. All right. So let me, hang on a second. I'm all hooked up in my stuff here just a sec. Got on some new shoes. Okay. So here is November the 10th and the 9th. Okay, up and down, up and down. These complete cycles are about 24-hour periods. Just a sec here. Yeah, they're about 24-hour periods. So this is 11:15 and 11:16. Pretty much the same. Little variant. This one came down a little bit and then peaked. And this one just peaked, went kind of crashing down and came back up very quickly. So this week, last week, not much different. And the reason we're looking at critical frequencies as opposed to Schumann's resonant frequency, which is actually part of Schumann's measuring, is because on the front side, it just looks like this. And we've seen that before, those of you that have been hanging out for a while. So this is October the 11th. I ran this a couple of hours ago. Oh, wait a second here. So this is 1, 2. Okay. So this is right about, that's right about noon Mountain Standard Time. So we did have some disturbances in the middle of the night. That's where those energies are pushing up and dropping off, okay? And then over here, there was a little break with no pressure, and then back to the pressure and the release again. So white is usually release and the red is usually pressure. Okay, and this is in the hertz, running almost all the way down the page again. This is, we don't want to see white down here. That's a lot of danger zones, emotionally, that is. So these frequencies, these Schumann's frequencies, let me pull this up real quick and I will tell you on the Schumann's what neighborhood we're looking at. So we're looking at approximately 20 to 24 hertz. And that's a vibrational quality. And then today, these critical frequencies are reaching, if I'm not mistaken, well, it's 7,000 to 8,000 hertz, but they're measuring it a little bit differently. I think it's the megahertz. Still learning this stuff. But what I'm saying to you is this is the pressure outside of your body that is creating the breeding ground for emotional triggers. So whatever you have in you, it's been in you for a while, whatever's back here you haven't worked through, it's going to come up front. And how does that work? So if you are in a relationship, two adults relating back and forth, whatever's back here that has not been taken care of yet will project. In the old days, they used to have a projector where they would run a light and then show a film in front of it. And it would create a picture. So you are projecting on the other people in your life. Whatever your poop is back here. And it may or may not be true with the person you're projecting it on. Now, imagine the other person's projecting on you. So you got two people projecting their crap all over each other. Their emotional traumas all over each other. Triggers. And that's why there are a lot of breakups. There are a lot of endings. Not that I really want to see it, but it'd be interesting to see the statistics from the number of divorces being filed right now, number of separations. And yes, psychologically, COVID plays into it. But I'm purely talking about individuals here, not what's happening around us in the 3D world. Now, here is the upside of that curve. Okay, here's the upswing of it. When you recognize what your stuff is, and you take steps, little bitty baby steps forward to get rid of, change, transform, those energies are going to literally lift you up. And imagine that this is a crescendo pushing your poop out, and it's lifting you up to push it out. And then you actually release it. Okay? Instead of dropping down here with everybody else, you're going to be carried forward. Maybe that wasn't the best visual. You're going to be carried forward towards change. And I thought it was kind of odd because last week I took a little baby step forward in my own life to change something. And I couldn't believe how fast it felt better in here and here. I was like, wow, these are great, moves forward in my life, and I'm feeling better. And my daughter was feeling better last week. And then these energy shifts came again that pushed a little bit more. And, I know it's only Tuesday, but this week has not been stellar, starting Sunday night. And I'm thinking to myself, what happened to the woman and the girl that I knew last week? She's not there. Because there's more stuff. So this is going to be a bumpy ride. And if you're feeling that way, please go over to toolsofenergyprotection.com and make an appointment. Let's get together, clear the energies you're carrying that are not from this time and space, because that's making it even harder because you've got trails from other timelines that are bugging you. Okay? So if that makes sense to you, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that this makes sense to you. And meanwhile, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the questions from the beginning. And I thank each and every one of you. Okay, I got one thumbs up. Good. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay, so people are understanding. Good. So Patty, hi to you. Judy, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. More thumbs up. Thank you. Diana, nice to meet you. Keith, good to see you. Judy, thank you. She says I look good. Got my hair done today. Polly, hi. Nice to see you. Melissa, welcome aboard, Melissa. And Carol, good to see you. Becky, hey, how's it going? Genesis, good to see you. Ria, hi, good to see you. Hi, Ron, nice to see you. Leah, hi, Leah. Polly says, I'm adjusting, getting better, I think. Yes, that's what I was just saying here a minute ago. We were great last week, making changes, walking forward. Things were great. And then this week, not so much, but it's only Tuesday. Let's see. It says, it looks like Mr. Jamal is watching. Hi, Mr. Jamal. Good to see you. Regina. Hey, Regina. Kristen. Oops. Kristen, good to see you. And hey, Tracy, Miss Tracy, how's it going? Let's see here. Julie, nice to see you. Polly says, I am proud of my neighbor. They're decorating for Christmas and showing outward signs of hope that hasn't been there before. Yes, Polly. I noticed that too. Actually, when I went to get my hair done today, the stylist, when I walked in, she had some essential oils that, have that cinnamon smell, an orange smell running. And she had Christmas music playing. And I know that in the years past that would have, kind of put me off because a lot of folks like to celebrate Thanksgiving fully before they go into Christmas. But, most of the time Christmas is a message of hope and goodwill and peace and stuff like that. And so I have noticed quite a few people that are putting their trees up early because they need that hope. they need to feel that peace and that joy and that centeredness right now. So, you know, I say go for it. You know, if it helps you, go for it. All right, I don't see any questions. I'll make sure if there, oh, wait, here it is. Okay, if you have questions, you know, please put them down here in the feed. Keith says almost 8 billion people on the planet. We need a lot of white blood cells, Keith. Let's see here. Regina, hello. And Polly's asking, are these bends pain-filled? Yes. A lot of folks are feeling pains in their physical body because of these ups and downs. And I wanted to ask those of you that are older ladies here, how many of you, but by a show of thumbs up or laughter, are experiencing your cycle again when you ended it over a year ago? I've had several women that have contacted me and said that they are cycling after having not for a whole year. I have other women that tell me that they're getting hot flashes during the middle of the day when they have been hot flash mostly free for a while. So that tells me that the iron intake and the pH is off in your body. If you're getting that, there's some other things. Hey, Stacy, good to see you. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes, exhaustion. Yeah, from watching everything going on. And yeah, so anyway, that's where we are right now, is people are not needing the spiritual milk so much anymore, that are more evolved and awake consciously and connecting to God's spirit or source. And then there's some people that are just waking up. I've had quite a few folks reaching out to me, telling me they need tools to protect their energy, which is awesome and amazing, and they'll get brought up quickly. And that's what I've noticed. I've been doing this particular modality for at least professionally for at least 13 years. And I noticed that people will come in waves as they wake up. You know, there's the next and the next. And the ones that are waking up behind the ones that just did are waking up even faster. So it's just a huge time. It's almost like the firework going up, you know, and up, and then, you know, lots of those people coming out of sparklies. Are there any other questions or any other comments about what's going on? All right, well, that's what's causing the emotional triggers. It's the energies of the planet, which are bioelectromagnetic, pushing up against us, and we are bioelectromagnetic. And it is stimulating our brains, our subconscious minds, where all of our past traumas have been stored. And the more you have, the more challenging it's going to be for you to work through them. But I can help you with that. We can do an inner child energy regression, which is really awesome and amazing. And go back and grab some of those energies that have been in you for a while and shift their frequency. Let's see here. Oh, good. Polly says, Friday I had some major wokeness happen. It was so freeing. Yes, it is. So thank you for the hearts. So the good news is, everyone, the more that you work through your stuff and let it go or have your energies cleared, the better you're going to feel, the faster you're going to feel better. So then you can be more free to navigate this 3D world that we live in. The bottom line is that the fourth dimension, that's where we're connected to our guidance. That's where we're connected to our angels. And then above that is the fifth dimensional frequency. And the fifth dimensional frequency is the frequency of love. And that's starting to efface and open. And it's coming up and out to everyone on this planet. So if you grab onto it and move forward, just even little bitty steps, it will come and fill your life out so fully. It'll be amazing. But you have to be ready to shed the poop, the bad habits, the old belief patterns. And that can be challenging. It's hard for human brains to turn loose of something that is real and tangible for something they don't know is coming yet. So I don't see any more questions or comments. Make sure So I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. It is tough. Hang in there. Remember, you are never alone. Your angels and guides are always with you. And God's Spirit or Source loves you so much. If you need help, seek it. This Thursday, of course, I'll be at For Heaven's Sakes Books. 303-964-9339. You can call there during regular business hours and make an appointment. And other than that, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and find a time that works for both of us to get together. And just book it and just do it and feel better. If you don't get your energies cleared and you're struggling and you don't know which way is up and you're like, I don't want to get my energies cleared. I'll be okay. I can do it myself. Where are you going to be 2 months from now when poop really hits the fan in January? Where are you going to be? So just imagine that, you've got, I guess, tons and tons of sweat all over your body and you feel icky and sticky. This energy clearing will help you to connect to your guides better. You'll feel lighter. You might get the joy back in your life. You might get a smile on your face. And you might just generally kind of go, oh, okay, things aren't that bad. So I invite you to jump on board. That's it. Have a great and wonderful night. As far as I know, I will see you back here next Tuesday. I will be doing as many of these as I can during the week as things shift back and forth. But just remember, we're on a hell of a roller coaster ride, or a heaven of a roller coaster ride, depending on which side of the yin yang you're on. Good night, everybody.